Let's move on to another question. This one from one of our regular viewers in Duluth, who wants to know what steps the legislature might be taking in this session to deal with the fentanyl slash opioid, but particularly fentanyl crisis. I think we're up to you, Senator Murphy. I think it's your turn to lead us off. So talk about that issue for a moment, if you would, please.
So, we're coming through a period of time where there has been a fair amount of work done on the issue of opioids with the settlement and money, hopefully come into communities that are going to support treatment. And really the answer to this question is, from my perspective, adequate treatment. Fentanyl is the newest iteration of a drug that is being, compounded into other things, and it is a serious narcotic with significant ramifications. So of course we need to think about how it's coming to us, but whether it is the opioid crisis that we've experienced, or fentanyl, or the other myriad number of substances that people are using, the real root of the problem is substance abuse and adequate treatment for people who are using.
Representative Nash, your thoughts, fentanyl.
I think that you're going to hear all four of us give some very similar variations on a theme. We often hear that you put two Democrats and two Republicans in the room and all we'll do is probably fight. That's not always the case. It just doesn't make TV because it's not good TV. They want to see us go after each other. But I have learned a lot since I got here from my dear friend, Representative Dave Baker, who lost a son to this. And I think as a dad, my kids have not gone down the road that led his son Dan to where that happened. But what a tragic thing. And if we can come together and recognize that it's not all one particular viewpoint perspective, that it's kind of an all of the above. How do we fix this? I think that's going to be an infinitely better. Is it more education? Is it possibly more funding? Is it pushing the discussion earlier in the education system? Is it making sure that we're doing a better job of substance abuse? Yes, because we owe it to the precious people that we bring into this planet and to make sure that they're educated well. And, Senator Murphy, my mom was a nurse as well. And she, like you, probably fought like crazy to keep people alive. And when you lose somebody, it's painful. And she's recounted a number of things to me that happened like that, whether it was a heart attack or drug abuse. We can do better. I think that some of us just have to maybe put our inclination to bristle against the other side down for a little bit and say, how can we work together, and then go do it. Because I again, have learned so much from Representative Baker, and I know that he's meant so much to a lot of people around the Capitol in telling his story, because it's compelling. So let's do that. Let's do those things. Let's work together and roll up our sleeves and stop at, well, Senator Murphy, you've encouraged me a number of times to stop calling you Senator and call you by your first name. Let's get to the point where we say, hey, Erin, Jim, how can we roll up our sleeves and do something important together? And don't look at the DFL and the GOP. Just say, hey, Minnesotans are watching and they need a solution.
Representative Long, your thoughts.
Well, I agree with Jim. We're going to find a lot of agreement on this topic. I have family members addicted to opioids. It ruins lives. It is a really harmful and terrible addiction. And one thing I'll just add is that I think Governor Walz deserves a lot of credit for taking this issue very seriously. And he has created a subcabinet. He's created a new director to work on addiction and recovery. That's a position that just started last year. And so I know that the administration is working really hard to try to coordinate response and look at solutions to help with treatment, to help with recovery. So I think all of us in the House, the Senate, the governor are taking this issue seriously, are trying to look at options where we can help get people treatment, help get people on a pathway to recovery. And try to deal with some of these drugs like fentanyl that are highly destructive and highly addictive.
Senator Housley.
Thank you, Barry. And I want to echo what Representative Nash said. We actually do get a lot of good work done, Democrats and Republicans together. And I know Senator Murphy, Erin, and I have done a lot together, but you don't see it on the front page or see it on the TV news because it's not sensational. It's really, really good work, but it's just not the sexy topics that it draws people to the television. But on this one, I have 4 kids, and I was so thankful that got them all through high school and college, and they lived. And I thought, okay, I'm over that. I'm over the whole drug thing. I'm good now. No, now I have grandkids in elementary school, and when they're making fentanyl look like candy, I'm telling you, Halloween, I went through their whole bag. I'm so nervous. Like Senator Murphy said, treatment and education, we really need to be getting funding for both treatment and education. And also how those drugs are getting here illegally. We have to put those criminals in jail. We've got to catch them, prosecute them, and get them off the streets and get these drugs off the streets. So any funding that we can put there towards our law enforcement to get these criminals off the street would be helpful.
I don't normally get involved in the substance of our exchanges, but I can't resist the opportunity to just note briefly, and it will be brief, that the contribution of the judicial branch to this over the course now my almost 20 years on the Supreme Court is the use of drug courts, which have been, like other institutions, they're not perfect, but there are some remarkable stories that come out of those experiences. For me, one of them was watching I won't say which legislator, but watching a legislator appear to thank the drug court personnel, noting that he had a family member many years ago who largely had his life ruined as a result of drugs, and he'd seen lives saved as a result of the drug court opportunities. So that's maybe an encouraging note on a very difficult subject, and there will be more to say about that as we move forward.